Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, it's Lord Quode, and I'm back with another video. I know it's been a little bit since my previous video, but to be honest, after dropping that video, I had a pretty busy week at work, and on top of that, there were some birthdays that had to be taken care of, and just in general, I had to make some time for the stream and just couldn't get around to making a YouTube video. But also, over the course of that week, actually have some updates to give, as well as a little bit of a follow-up to my previous video, which was a lot better received than I thought it would be, if I'm being completely honest. So after my previous video, there was a whole slew of content creators that went ahead and also released their own versions and interpretations in response to NWI's comp video. And to be honest, I was a little taken back by that. I didn't expect so many content creators to step forward and make the comments and observations that they did. And it was kind of great because I thought I made that video expecting that to be it. Like, I figured I'd be the only person that would make this video talking about this subject. Maybe it would get some views, maybe it wouldn't, but it ended up getting a lot more traction than I ever could have imagined for my tiny little channel. And the follows that have come from that video, as well as the amount of support that I got for voicing my frustration like that, it was a little astounding. So I just can't thank you guys enough for all that support following said video. But kind of in response to that, there was a follow-up. That video was pretty much me just asking for an explanation from NWI, because based on their original video, I really felt like they were about to full pivot towards competitive, which was really confusing. However, after all these videos from not only myself but other content creators came out, NWI came out and made sure to clarify that they're not fully pivoting towards competitive, but they are putting energy on it. They also went forward and said that they have a lot more resources now than what they did previously, and that a lot of things were taken out of context, and they kind of wish that people would have waited for more information before they jumped off and went very, very negative on the responses and stuff like that. Which is fair, but also I hope that they can also understand that the wording of the video made it seem like there was just going to be a big jump right into competitive, and a lot of people were very confused about it and agreed with me. Turns out that wasn't the call to make, wasn't the right call to make anyways. So, but after they came forward and after there was that clarification there, they also went a step further and ended up having a big Discord discussion, a big voice discussion with people to talk about the competitive scene. And it's interesting because I ended up sitting in on that conversation, ended up participating in that conversation, and I had planned on doing neither. I hadn't really paid attention to the day that it was scheduled for, nor the time. But as I was streaming, when the meeting was supposed to happen, I was just streaming, and about 10 minutes before, somebody came into my chat, shout out to whoever that was, and they just said, "Hey, are you going to participate in the competitive discussion?" And I said, I hadn't planned on it, but I guess I can. I'll just sit in on it. That's what I said. I believe I said, I'll just sit in on it. So I end up rejoining the NWI Discord, hop in the voice channel, and am shocked to see 40 to 50 people spread out between the two little voice channels that they had there. Now, as if that wasn't surprising enough, the other thing that really surprised me was that they had posted a little list of changes that they were testing to help change the game in terms of the gameplay aspects of it. And honestly, it was a lot of small changes that I think the competitive players are going to love. And I'm unsure as to how the casual players will react to it, or whether or not they'll even notice. So I'm kind of excited to see how those play out. None of those are bad decisions by any means, and they're not really ginormous, but all of them together can kind of coalesce into making the game feel a lot better from a competitive point of view. So kind of excited to see them do that. So after going through that though, after reading through that really quickly, I was still streaming. Like I said, my intention was just to kind of listen in. And then suddenly I ended up being called on, basically volunteered to give some feedback on the spectating function. It was literally the first topic they brought up in regards to competitive, was spectating function. And I don't even think I'm the most qualified person to discuss on that, but considering I kind of made up my feedback on the fly while I was playing, I think I did okay. I still stand by most of the feedback I gave. I think spectating is the most subjective form. I don't think it's that objective of a discussion to have, but I was glad to have it because, it does need to work. The replay function and the cleanliness of the cameras do need to be good, but that's for neither here nor there. Since I was the first topic to discuss, and I just kind of muted myself after that, there were a lot of other topics that were brought up by comp players, Toucan Sam, Link, and I think the Aaron, they all kind of made really good points about what they felt like would help boost the scene in terms of retention and interest and stuff like that. But there were also some people that I don't think were there for strictly competitive, and a couple of them I think have like never played competitive. And that's not like a slight to them or anything. It was just like I felt that part of the discussion felt really weird, especially considering that there was only like an hour's worth of time allotted for this discussion. They even said that they're gonna have to scale it and change the format a little bit in the future, but like it was their first time, it was NWI's first time doing that kind of discussion, so more power to them for the future. But moving on from that, right? So we end up having the discussion. I understand now a lot better and clearer as far as their timeline and their intent. And truth be told, now that I do understand, I'm a lot more forgiving. I'm a lot more friendly now towards the idea of competitive being focused on in the future. But I still kind of stand by my stance that I originally was stating, which was just that the time window, that opportunity to really grow the scene and blow it up is kind of already past. It's already gone. Like, let me put it this way. There would have to be a major update, and I mean a major update, an insane update to drop in correlation with the focus and the push and stuff like that to really regain a player base for competitive, because it's really hard. It's really hard to compete in today's market with all the other competitive shooters that are out there and have an experienced marketing team pushing it and have community figures that have already built their community and stuff like that. It's really hard to grow a competitive community post-launch. And honestly, I don't know. Like, I have these strange little strings in my heart that are being pulled every time I think about it still, because like I do care about the game and I really did spend a lot of time in competitive. But as I think about it and I think about how much work I would have to put in on the community side to just really grow the scene, like in terms of time invested in shoutcasting, time invested in production, that's like behind the scenes production. So that's arranging overlays, that's getting UIs set up, that's having preset scenes for replays and cameras and like different interviews and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of production that would go behind doing like shoutcasting again for me to take it to the next level. And honestly, I don't think that the energy required to put in would benefit, like I don't think the return on that energy would benefit me enough to warrant me focusing that hard, which kind of sucks for me to say. But if I'm being realistic, you know, my whole goal is to eventually grow my brand and grow myself into an esports figure. And I don't want to be limited to just one game. I want to be able to have a voice and be able to entertain, but whether it's from like an analysis point of view or a play-by-play point of view, however I see fit. If I have to get my foot in the door by coaching and stuff like that and playing a new game and really grinding and getting to understand it, I will. Because honestly, with Call of Duty coming around the corner, and this is the first Call of Duty that I've been wanting to buy, Modern Warfare, it's what I want from a shooter. It's fast-paced, it's pretty low time to kill. The map design's very, very competitive. The lines aside they all kind of make sense. The rotations as a player are very easy. And the spectator function is already there. It's been there for a while. So I feel like all of this energy that I could put into comp, into Insurgency, into Sandstorm, later, whenever the time comes that NWI really want to push it, I feel like it would benefit me more to just put it into Modern Warfare right now. It's like... I'm trying to phrase it in a way that doesn't sound like pessimistic, but I just think that the time that it's gonna take to grow my brand on like with Sandstorm wouldn't be nearly as easy or worth it compared to what it would be like if I grew it in Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare has a lot of like dedicated Modern Warfare content creators, but they tend to cater to like the casual side. And if they do focus on competitive, it's either the players themselves offering like their POV, or it's like the news channels that are just kind of talking about the drama, talking about the rumored roster changes and social media beef, stuff like that. There's not really anybody that goes into like deep analysis, breaking down team dynamics and explaining how to transition from like a casual mindset to a competitive mindset, and all these other different things that would actually benefit players in the Modern Warfare sphere. And there's a lot more players playing Modern Warfare that are going to be playing Modern Warfare than there will be playing Sandstorm. And it's like, when I look back on my Sandstorm videos, when I break down the roles in Firefight, yeah, sure, the editing wasn't that good. Yeah, sure, the quality isn't amazing compared to what, you know, I'm hoping to get to in the future, but like, it's still there. The quality's still there, and I've only improved as time has gone on and as my uploads have gotten more consistent. And I really feel like if I drop videos for Sandstorm, they're going to be footnote worthy compared to like the videos that I'm going to make for Modern Warfare, because anything I make from here on out is just practice with the intent of improving. And so honestly, I'm just really hoping that as I move forward and as I continue to move forward, I'm hoping that I do see improvements with Sandstorm and see more support both from like the player base on its own, and I'm able to grow my community and kind of straddle both games, because I think that I'll be able to manage both Sandstorm and Modern Warfare, even though Modern Warfare is going to be my focus. Because the thing is, when you put so many hours into a game, into a franchise, it's going to be impossible to completely drop it. But because I'm going to have something new to sink my teeth into, it's going to feel like there's a long gap in between my Insurgency uploads versus my Modern Warfare uploads. And honestly, the only thing I can say is that I really hope you guys stick in for the ride, and I'm looking forward to building a community. And just, I feel like I have something to offer people, not in terms of the hilarious humor or personality side, but like in the analytical side. I feel like I can generate that kind of content very easily. It comes very naturally to me, and that's something I enjoy doing. Like if I could give my fantasy job, mind you, I'm still working full-time in real life, but my fantasy job, like if I could just get out of the real life job I'm doing, completely switch careers, like I would love to be doing esport related content. Like I would love to be shoutcasting, I would love to be coaching, I would love to be an analyst for a team, I would love to be developing heat maps on where players like to play and where shots are fired, and developing lines of sight and different angles, and helping to give teams feedback on what player communications are breaking down and why they should try different strategies and different weapon loadouts, stuff like that, and team comps. Like I would love that. And if the players themselves need some motivation, I can be there and just be a level head that's just like, listen, I understand, been a player before, like we sit down and let's talk about it, let's talk about the things that you can improve and the things you can work on. These are all things that I could do, but I have to generate a name for myself first, and the only way to do that is through content. So I know this video's actually gotten pretty long now, but I'm just hoping that it's worth the listen, because honestly, there's going to be a lot of gameplay related content coming out in the future, as well as some guides. Not necessarily guides, I'd say, but more like some breakdowns and some observations that I'm going to have of the game as I play. So until we get to that point though, I just want to thank you guys for supporting me and just giving me the love that you have. I'm still going to be streaming on Twitch pretty regularly, like 3 times a week if I can pull it off. And I just kind of, I just can't wait for Modern Warfare, man. We got like 3 or 4 more days, and it just can't come soon enough, man. It cannot come soon enough. There's going to be a complete revamp in the direction of my content when that game drops, and I think you guys are going to be pleased with the results. So I'll release some more videos in the future, obviously, addressing where I'm headed with Modern Warfare and things that I'm going to like and dislike. Until those videos do come out, make sure you rest well, recharge, and enjoy peace of mind. Later, guys.